direction. Okay, Susan, I like your background. I like your background. Yes, so Susan is all about it. How do you talk? Clock it. It's all about it. All right. So this is her lens right here on your Women Radio WFM 91.7. It's definitely good to be back here speaking to you about Nigerian issues, topical issues, and doing this together with you. Yeah, for those of you who asked, yes, I'm fine now. I was just under the weather last week, but I'm okay and we're good to go. So thank you so much for asking about me, for reaching out, and for your consent. And for those who were doing their prayers for me, sir, behind the background, I say thank you. Esheo, now good day. How do they talk for Igbo? Anyway, Susan will teach me. All right. So yes, this is Harlan, where we discuss, dissect, and disagree on topical issues right here on Nigeria's first radio station for women and their families. My name is Rose Yusuf Kaiser. And of course, today is the ninth day in the month of March 2026. And all my ladies are here with me this morning. So, Susan, how are you? How have you been? How's the weekend? And most importantly, all right, no, we'll touch on International Women's Day. We'll talk about it, properly. But let's just know how you're faring and how the weekend was for you.
Good morning, Rose. We missed you. Yes, we missed you, even though we're clocking in and out behind the scenes, but it's good to have you back, Hell and Hattie. Happy International Women's Day to everyone. We did say that last week. And good morning, Mam Buki, Mam Ibinabo, and good morning, Halens family, and to all women the world over. Yes, I'm still flying purple because, yeah, it's Women's Month and we cannot stop. We will keep slaying until
Mm.
we are tired.
I love that. I love it. All right. So that's the voice of Susan. And we are going on straight to hear from Buki. Buki, good morning. How are you today? How's the new week starting up for you?
Yeah, Buki is doing great. Yes, 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 yes. And I really want to thank God. Sincere apologies. I would have to say that up front. I might not be able to put on my video. My background is a bit somehow. Yeah, so a whole lot is moving. A whole lot is moving, and yeah. So apologies for that. Yeah, yeah. How was the weekend? Yeah, it was beautiful. I mentioned that Sunday, the International Women's Day, happens to be my husband's birthday, and it was
Oh,
beautiful. Spending it with brethren in the church. Had Thanksgiving. I mean, just to say, Father, we want to thank you, for all that you have done in his life. So it was beautiful for me, and for the start of the week. Yeah, in fact, as I am now, I'm just thinking of so many things that have to be done this week, which I prayed about it this morning that God will give me organizational skills, to prioritize and organize and get it administered. And I know it will come through. At times you want to say, how do I do this? How do I do this? When there's so many things on your table, but say, relax, organization with the help of the Holy Spirit. Once you have planned it, you just move into it. Yeah. So yeah, it's a good start. I would prophesy that, so that I have my mindset to say it's a good start.
all right.
And Susan, good morning. Ibinabo, good morning. And of course, I think I have also greeted our Lens family, but just in case I forgot, so how was yesterday as well, International Women's Day. I hope you celebrated all the women in your life, and that have mentored you, that have made impact. And peradventure you missed it. It's okay. This month is our month. Keep doing it. Almost every day, look for a woman, celebrate, talk about her. And also, it's not just talk about her, but go outside of your way to ensure that girl, I want to look at that girl, that secondary school girl, that teenager, that youth, becomes who she really wants to. I mean, help her in building her dream, you know, time, mentoring, even finances. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's part of it. I mean, our team to this year is we give to gain. So you've got to give something, like I mentioned, on my state on my Instagram. I mean, what do we give? Time, mentoring, responsibility, leadership.
Right.
Even
Let me
we
let me
in the
just let me
moment
just
now.
pause you there a bit, Buki.
Yeah,
We'll definitely come back to the International
yeah.
Women's Day and
I
talk more
did,
about it.
I did talk too much, okay?
So let me just pause you for a bit.
That's just the
Um,
way I feel, but it's fine. Yeah. So once again, good morning. Thank
Morning.
you.
All right, let's get to hear from Ibinabo. Hi, Ibinabo. How you day? How is the week starting up for you?
Okay, good morning. Good morning, Lady Rose. Good morning, Lady Susan. Good morning, Lady Buki. And good morning to all our valued listeners. It's great to be here. Yes, I know they agree for anything. Nothing. I they stand gidigba, whatever. I want to say happy International Women's Day to all the women on her lens, all our valued listeners, every woman out there who is always showing up for every other woman. It's a great time to celebrate ourselves. And I listened when Rose, yeah, Susan rather, talked about purple. And that word took me back to a musician, a singer in the old days, or I said the yo, I hope the yo is not too far away, Sha. But Prince, to be precise, the name of the artist is Prince. And
I remember Prince.
sang about Purple Rain. And I got to find out the metaphor for Purple Rain is cleansing, hopeful, and spiritual transition during times of chaos, heartbreak, or the end of the world. And they talk about purple being something that has to do with transformation and freedom. And he extensively in his lyrics talked about the symbolism of the colors and all of that,
Hmm.
being a mixture of red and blue and all of that. And it's beautiful. And I can really understand the part that says it's a transformation and freedom time. We are talking about the woman and her life. So I got a lot of messages. In fact, the messages that wowed me most were the ones from men. I mean, it's amazing that. ah, So I discussed with a friend of mine that, see this person, see that person, those ones that they'll be arguing with you. You people are always about kiniko, women this, women that. When I got messages of Happy International Women's Day from them, it was like, it meant a lot to me, really. And then another one that really gladdened my heart was a friend of mine called me and said, kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní year?" I said, "What do you mean?" She said her husband. I told her I'm going to talk about it. I'm not mentioning her name though, but I'm going to talk about it. Her husband took his time to send her a wish and sent her, ordered a cake. When they got home from church, she said they, there was a knock on the gate, and she was like, okay, well, we're not expecting anybody at this time, usually until evening. And the children went to check, and it was a delivery person that the husband specifically said that that cake must be delivered at a particular hour of the day, meaning that they would have been back from church then for his wife. And she was like, she said, Omo, that yesterday she became like a schoolgirl. She was excited. He was just looking, didn't say anything. Ah, ah, ah. Hey, that was what she was saying. She said she didn't even know how to thank him. She was too excited. And I said, yes, it's the beginning of new things. Sometimes some men who argue, who stand against all of these things we talk about, it's not necessarily because they are wicked, but because they don't have the clear-cut understanding of what we're talking about. And by the time they have understanding and they see other men, lead by example, I think this will trickle down the line of the men. They'll begin to have understanding of what all of this mean to the woman and her life and the girl child and all of that. So I want to
Yeah.
well done to my friend's husband. I know that if he's not listening, the wife is, she
Okay.
said she will listen. She would even audit. So I'm glad I didn't forget to do this. So thank you to your husband. I promise I'll not mention your names. I will not bother to mention your name, but you know you.
Mm.
And we are thank you to every other man out there who has taken his time to celebrate his wife, celebrate his daughters, celebrate his sisters, and on his female staff and all of and every female out there. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. Yes, and we join you in celebrating your friend's husband too, for the length he went to. All right, so yes, this is your Women Radio WFM 91.7, 21 minutes after 9, right here on Women Radio. And there's a 29, I mean 21, 21. Yeah, 21 minutes after 9, right here on Women Radio. All right, so do well to join us on YouTube. We're live on YouTube at WFM 917, and of course, send us WhatsApp messages to 0703175637 or 08155917917. As we delve into the International Women's Day, let's just have a conversation on the International Women's Day 2026. All right, with the theme Give to Gain. Yeah, that's the theme for this year. Now, but for some other people, I mean, we have about like two themes for this year, if I'm not mistaken. And all of them would have to do with moving, the woman forward, the next phase for a woman, and some of the issues that surrounding us as it is presently. Now, bringing it down home, the federal government and key stakeholders. Now I'm talking about the Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Imam Suleiman Ibrahim, made a call over the weekend in Abuja, during a high-level ministerial press briefing for the 2026 International Women's Day. She made a call to Nigerians. She made a call to key stakeholders, on different issues. Now, one of the issues she talked about was strengthening legal frameworks and social protection systems for women and families. She also talked about caring for women who have been sexually, molested or sexually abused or even domestically abused, just any form of abuse at all. She went ahead to talk about the SACs that we have, that's the sexual assault referral centers that we have. She said that Nigeria currently operates about 50 sexual assault referral centers across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. Now, describing the number as grossly inadequate for a population of over 200 million people. Now, the international standards recommend that at least one SAC, that is Sexual Assault Referral Center, per 40,000 people, meaning Nigeria should have a minimum of 500 centers nationwide. But as it is, we just have about 50 in the whole country. So that's a very wide margin. Now, this is to actually help survivors of domestic, sexual, gender-based violence or abuse. This is to help. Now, she also went on to touch on the reserved special seats bill, okay, for the for us as women. This is something that we have been talking about. This is something that we have been, especially here at Women Radio, we have been lending our voices to this, making sure that we keep talking about this until we see it come to fruition. So there's just a lot of other things that she touched on, as regards to what is happening in Nigeria, on as regards to women too. So I would just like to hear, from each and every one of us, some of the issues that you think that at least by now we should have come past it, or when you think of International Women's Day. By the way, it was yesterday, just so we're not confused that it's today. International Women's Day is always 8th of March, so it was yesterday. So I'll just start with you, Susan, because you're all purple, you're well represented this morning, and I just like the vibe you're giving us, for the International Women's Day, and we can see it all over you. So as it should for every woman. So let's get to hear your thoughts. International Women's Day, what comes to your mind as regards to the theme, give to gain, as regards to the issues of inclusion, as regards to the issues of representation, um, talking about the special seats bill, and a lot of other issues. So I was interested to get your rounded thoughts on the International Women's Day 2026 and where we stand presently.
Thank you, Rose. The International Women's Day hashtag for this year is Give to Gain. And the theme or the title is Rights, Justice, and Action for
Hmm.
All Women and Girls. And so I read through what the minister, she's been speaking up for women and what have you. And some of these issues, like you rightly mentioned, we have discussed it here on Women Radio. SAGS, each time we discuss justice for persons who experience based violence, your first port of call should be a SAGS center, sexual assault referral center, so that there will be proper documentation and what have you. And so when we have just 50, remember Nigeria has 774 local governments.
Okay. Yeah.
So imagine what 50 would do. Now, out of these 50, it's not about setting up SAC centers, as it were. How many of these SAC centers are functional? We
Hmm.
are talking of rights, talking of justice. How many of them are working? How many of them are accessible to that mama in rural area who has been abused, who cannot speak English, but also needs these services? The wheelchair user, we're looking at different stratas of women, including youths. When you experience any form of GBV, I want to take that part in particular, just let the other women speak to other areas. When you look at GBV has a way of making you feel isolated. The demand is huge. So, who are those people in these centers who can address the concerns of the youths, persons with disability, the elderly, and whoever comes into that SAC center, even with the 50 that we have on ground? Because we are looking at rights and justice at the end of the day. So I think I go with what the Minister for Women Affairs has said. We need to expand on the center beyond expansion. We need to ensure that they are functional. It's not a SAC center where someone will come in and there's nobody to attend to them. These are emergency cases. These are cases where the person, I mean, might even be bleeding. Do you know what GBV is? The person could have been battered and they are looking for the closest, SAC center to take them so that documentations are made and they are referred, you know, to a
Hmm.
health facility. Come in here and it's looking like what is happening here, what's going on here. So I think that we have to move. If we have to give to the women so that we also gain the values that women bring back to the society, because whether we like it or not,
Yeah.
every single human being on earth, whether you're a youth, you're a person with disability, you're a president, governor, you came from one woman or the other. That's the truth. So how are we equipping these people so that we can also gain the value that they put back into the society? We have to ensure that services, including the special disease bill that you spoke about, it is not about competition. On that table, you do not know what it takes to be pregnant. You do not know what it takes to go for family planning, except it is a man that wants to go for mastectomy. I mean, so there are different areas that we know that there are also women who are hands-on with household chores and all of that. But
Hmm.
most times women are involved with these things. So the question is, how are we equipping these women to be able to give their quota? How are we able to ensure that their rights are not infringed on, including their leadership rights, including the right to have a seat at the table? at the seat of authority, it's not too much. We are educated. It's not as if we are taking an illiterate to that place. Yes, including our right to justice. When issues happen around women, instead of you trying to get justice, you're asking, why were you wearing that? You said, where to find budget? You said your own too. I mean, why don't you ask men those questions? How many times have you seen a man wearing shorts and his question because he's putting on a shirt? You hardly hear that. Let's be factual. But once you wear it as a woman, hell is let loose. Kilode, Shogunlaye. Let me stop here so that others can speak. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Susan. For giving us your thoughts and touching on, all of these important issues. All right, this is your Women Radio WFM 91.7, and it's 29 minutes to 10, right here on Women Radio. Please feel free to dial the numbers 07000 or 09155 Let's get your WhatsApp messages, text messages to 07031756537 or 08155917917. Okay, we'll definitely love to hear from you this morning on the program HerLens. And we're just looking at um, the International Women's Day, issues affecting us as women, where we are right now, and maybe, where we ought to be as it is presently. This is 2026. There are some things that we should even be talking about presently. But, now where we see ourselves, now there we day. But are we working towards it to, take ourselves out of, where we should be so that we can be somewhere better? Definitely, we are working at it. All right, so let's come to you, Buki. Let's get to hear your thoughts on all of this, issues as regards to the International Women's Day and some of the things that hit you directly when you think about women, in 2026 in Nigeria. Let's get to hear your thoughts and where you would want us to be.
Okay, thank you. Some of it I'd actually shared, at the start of the program. So there's no point me reiterating that, but just to um, keep it simple from the angle of justice. I want to look at it from the angle of justice.
Mm,
And my own perspective is the fact that we just need to give justice. And when I say justice, what do I mean? Essentially, just doing what is right. Right in the sense of, what are we saying? Yes, I know the theme is talking about gift to gain, but I'm shifting my own perspective because of the questions you've asked, that where do we expect to have been? I mean, what are the things where we're hoping for that at least by now we should have it? And that's the angle I want to come from. Number one, the men should actually shift their mindset
mm,
from the angle of justice, doing what is right. They should see us as human beings. The only difference between us and them, it's our reproductive organs, and it's because of the functions each everybody. I mean, the men do their own, and then the women have their own as well. But
yeah.
aside from that, we're the same. We're made equally, right? It's only when you now subject yourself to the institution of marriage that you now say one is the leader and the other one is supporting. But outside of that, when it comes to governance, when it comes to leadership, when it comes to whatever function, they must see us that. So it's part of justice. And
Mm,
then, of course, in terms of, I'm coming from also mindset as well. And also, even we, the ladies, right? What do we give? For those who already have it, what do we give? That was when I was coming from the angle of leadership, of mentorship. We have to give our time as well. They always say that women do not, raise up women and all that. Well, I come from a different dimension, right? But can we do more? Absolutely, yes, we want to do more. Then, of course, talking about justice, even in the political parties right now, we talk about the women leader. Who are they? What are they supposed to be doing? Justice. Do not just use us, to gather votes for men. You understand? Also use us, to gather votes, for women as well. And this is also where women. So as I'm talking to men, I'm also talking to women.
so
That
women.
also let us also give what is right, to gain what is good. Yeah, so I like to stop there. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you too, Buki, for your thoughts on this. So let's get your thoughts too. I'll just give actually the same thing I asked Buki. We have come a long way as women in the whole world. We are not where we used to be. Now we have some places, in the different parts of the world, also struggling with a lot of issues when it comes to women related issues. So, but for us here, bringing it back home, there are a lot of things that we still talk about. Are we looking at maternal mortality rates? Are we looking at the special seats bill? Are we looking at the issues of the dangers that women get exposed to? Are we looking at the insecurity? I mean, just of recent, we saw that a good number of women and girls were kidnapped, in Borno, Maiduguri. So, I mean, there are just a lot of things that we get to face as women in the country. But are we where we used to be? Nope. Are we where we want to be yet? Nope. So, how do we go from where we used to be to where we want to be as women?
Okay, thank you, Rose. As we were talking, what came to mind was, let me just give an analysis. If a ship goes adrift, it um it meanders off course, okay,
Mm,
and it, it shows that because the ship has gone adrift, it is simply traveling with the water rather than on a charted course. That is what is going on. Yes, sometimes as women, we may set out to pursue a goal. Maybe like Buki mentioned, are women leaders, political women leaders,
mm,
women leaders. You know, in their mind, maybe let's say for example they've listened to HerLens and they are determined that okay, I'm going to really stand for whatever supports the woman. I'm going to stand for whatever you know is going to be okay for the woman. And that is, you are the sheep now.
mm,
And get into the midst of the men because they are always more in every party. So if you're not careful, your voice will drown. If you're not careful, um, your plans will just change. You just find yourself, getting lost in the midst of their plans, and then your own plan is drowned. That's why I said such women are like sheep that have gone adrift, that has meandered off its course and is traveling with the water, that is traveling with the thoughts of the men who don't understand exactly what the women deserve. So you're already going on, you already lost your bearing. You're not on your chartered course anymore. How how about quickly going back to your plan? Because you see, everybody cannot be out there. We have women who are there representing other women.
mm-hmm.
What are they doing? Are they walking with the, or are they moving on the charted course, or they have already gone adrift and they are now following the water course? Because until we get that, it's going to be difficult. It takes, yes, I know that there are some men who are he for she,
Yeah.
but how many are they? Looking at numbers here, we're looking at percentage here, but we have women leaders all over the place. How do they speak up for women? Because you see, all these problems we're talking about, once there is a political will on the part of the leadership of any party, of any government, the solution is right here. If you look at Uganda, for example, they have a structure on